Hello, welcome to Hope for Flint. I'm your host, Kristen Wolosinovich. So excited to have this very impressive panel by my side today. Starting to my far right, Dr. B. Lee Green, VP, Diversity Public Relations at Moffitt Cancer Center in Florida, in Tampa, Florida. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
And sitting next to you is the very beautiful Dr. Delisa Saunders, Deputy Director, Human Rights Community Relations Department in from Washington, D.C., correct?
Correct.
Welcome.
Thank you.
To my right is dear friend of Hope for Flint, Dr. Chuck Wilson, founder, CEO of the Renew Group Foundation. Hello, sir.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being here today. And two from Florida, coming in from Tampa, Florida, but also has an office here in Flint at the Ferris wheel. So you're accustomed to this roller coaster of weather that we experience in beautiful Michigan. And then in from New York, right? Brooklyn, baby. Big ups
That's
to
it.
Brooklyn. Paul Anthony, Grammy Award certified health and wellness influencer, among many other things, which we'll get to more into the interview. But thank you all for being here today.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
us.
for having us.
Yeah.
Dr. Wilson, I'll start with you. Flint, right? It's kind of been your home away from home. Why the city of Flint, sir?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Kristen, for inviting us on your show. And thank you for having such good weather this time. It's like
You're
it's-
welcome, everyone.
It's been
I'm like
freezing
this
weather.
with Mother Nature. You got it. Yes.
Yeah, to answer your question, this relationship actually started about 27 years ago. There's a person from Flint by the name of Van Johnson, V-A-N-N Johnson, who's the former lead singer for Yanni. Did a stint with Michael Bolton, and she and I became very good friends over the years. And last year, she lost that battle to cancer.
Okay.
And
Sorry to hear that.
while we were there in Encinitas, on those last days, she asked me to. She said, "Chuck," she said, "the work that you do in Hawaii, the work that you do around the country, see what you can do for my town, Flint." And I said, "I'll do what I can," and that's how it came to be. And I just wanted to, first of all, fulfill my word. You know, fulfilling your word is a very important thing. And so, but attaching it to a cause, many consider Flint as ground zero after the water crisis.
That's right.
Right, but I think it's a ground for hope as well. So, you know, we're moving from zero to hope, and so I want to make sure that we play that part and have a part in that.
Well, you have a big summit coming up tomorrow. It starts at 10 a.m. It's at the Ferris wheel in downtown Flint, 615 South Saginaw Street. Tell us a little bit about that health summit, because that's why everyone is here today. They play a big part in this role tomorrow.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's the state of cancer, lead, and health. And
Okay.
basically, when you say the word health, as you see around the table, we have a wide range of professionals.
That's right.
Health means something different to a social worker. It means something different to a researcher. It means something different to even an artist like Paul Anthony, the Paul Anthony. It means something different. But health also means coming together.
Okay.
Right. And so we want to look at some of the chief concerns as a social worker, you know, and you social workers out there, you know this. We all start with what is the chief concern? What's causing it? And how can we address it? So that's why we developed this summit. So we want to look at, we already know what some of the chief concerns are, not just in Flint, but in other places.
Right.
Cancer is a chief concern. Everybody at this table has been impacted by cancer. And then lead has an impact, not just with water, but in your clothing, in your makeup.
In makeup and everything, that's right.
products. And so we want to have a broader discussion. This is not about just water. This is a broader discussion about cancer, lead, and health.
Well, these summits you support across the country, and this is your team. This is your team of experts. And I'll start with you, Dr. Green. Tell us a little bit, what coming into Flint means to you, because, as a community, we were thrust into the national spotlight, given the water crisis. But as Dr. Wilson said, prior to the health crisis itself, it's also been a community of sickness, of obesity, of
Diabetes.
struggling with, exactly, diabetes, socioeconomic education. Tell us a little bit about what being in the city and speaking means to you.
So first of all, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Anytime I have the opportunity to talk about what I call the cancer crisis, particularly in those communities that are underserved, I love that opportunity. Because it is probably one of the biggest public health challenges that we have, that's what we call cancer health disparities. I think many of us know that there are certain populations in this country that suffer disproportionately from cancer, from diabetes, from heart disease. You go down the list, and we have those populations who suffer needlessly from some of those diseases and disorders. So I've been doing this for over 20 plus years. I don't want to give away my youthful age.
I was going to say you look 21,
yeah,
but
thank you.
You're welcome.
Doing it for quite a long time, and the unfortunate part about it is that we are still struggling trying to figure out why we have all of these disparities. So to get a group of folks together to really talk about some of the issues is always a good thing. Some of the experts who will be here, we can talk through some of the challenges that communities face, whether it's access to health care, their issues with regards to the pipeline, that we don't have enough physicians or minority physicians coming into medicine, the poverty issues. So there's a whole laundry list of things that we need to address in order to get to the bottom of cancer health disparities.
Well, we are very excited to hear you speak tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Dr. Delisa Saunders, you are such a champion for social injustice, and you're such a champion for the movement to vote and get registered, and really across the board with, the American Federation of Teachers. Tell us what it means to you to be here in the city of Flint as well.
Well, first of all, I'm honored because this is quite a challenge. It is national, it's actually global. Everybody is watching Flint and how we respond to it. And you also look at the history of Flint, and in particular how it is displacing communities, in particular communities of color, in particular African Americans.
Yes.
And just the disregard for health and wellness and well-being, education, all of those things.
You're giving me goosebumps because we say this, having grown up in the city, and we're looking at now, it's such a city of resilience, and we've seen this, but then you've seen massive poverty and disparity between the haves and the have-nots. And you'll get downtown and you'll see our downtown, the economic development of our downtown is really starting to grow. But you're seeing the disparity between the neighborhoods and downtown. And what I do believe this panel will bridge that gap with education, welcoming in everyone and teaching them how to be their best you. Absolutely. Like you say, Dr. Wilson,
Yeah,
correct?
Absolutely.
Very good. So we're excited. So you participate in summits across the country.
Oh, absolutely. And also in terms of social justice movement. I mean, driving through the communities and looking at the homes, some of them are boarded up, dilapidated, and it's almost as if there are folks waiting for this, wanting this to happen. The value of the property goes down, and you move in and displace
That's right.
communities with deep, rich history.
That's right. We need to put a hand and lift them. Absolutely, 100%. Having you here is so important for the city, all of you, truly.
Thank you.
Yes.
Paul, Dr. Wilson showed me your video. You really bring some massive energy to this panel. Not that they're not excitable. I mean, this is exciting. But you bring a really big energy and passion to the cause that's in front of us. Tell us why you got involved.
Well, first of all, it's definitely an honor to be here. I haven't been in Flint in many, many years. I go back to the days of Ready for the World when we used to tour here often. But yeah, that's how far
I'm
back.
starstruck right now. Yes.
But I really, really want to thank my brother in arms, Dr. Chuck Levin Wilson, for inviting me and making me be a part of this, because anytime I can engage, then I'm being purposeful. And it affects so many. As Delisa said, it's just not Flint, but it's global. But here is now the sounding board. So if we can bring attention to this and evoke thought, change, then that's what we're here. So it's important to me because cancer affects everybody, It's so funny, contaminants comes in different forms, spiritual contaminants is the worst. So if we can enlighten and bring up people's spirit and energy as well as make a difference, my experience is the worst cancer is cancer of the spirit. And if we can change the spirit of everyone first, that can, make a difference. So if the universe has put me in a position that if I'm there because they're familiar, whether it's the music or a house party, but once we have their attention as a collective and whatever brings them there, let's get them there. And then we say, okay, now we want to educate you. Let's do this. And that's when I speak to people, I don't say, you should go do this. Let's do it together. Let's go get ourselves checked out. Let's make change. Because we're all connected.
All connected, mind, body, soul. And tomorrow's event, the State of Cancer Led in Health.
Yes.
It starts, doors open at 10 a.m. Is there a cost to be there tomorrow, Dr. Wilson?
No cost. We have breakfast and we have lunch. And we also
We're feeding you
free
and educating you. Yes.
That's right.
Absolutely. And a couple other things. We have some giveaways.
Oh, excellent.
Microsoft has provided us with a Microsoft Surface Go that we will be giving away to some unknown participant.
Okay.
Are we eligible?
Yes.
No.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
Yes. Well,
No.
and going back to you, Dr. Lee, I mean, as Dr. Saunders said, this is such a global crisis. And again, we're not the only place that this is happening. But I think what it did was when all of this information went public, it started the dialogue again. I think it put it under the radar of how important all of this is.
Absolutely. No question about it. Yeah, you're right. It's not just here. It's all across the country. A lot of communities are struggling with this. And I want to go back to something my good brother, Paul Anthony, mentioned about the spirit. I always think about, you all remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
And so we studied that. And as we look at health disparities, I always go back to that because we're trying to address issues when people are still struggling trying to get their basic needs met. Yes. So we're asking people to eat right, to exercise, to do all these things, to quit smoking, when we have not even addressed their basic needs. Right. And so we're asking people to be self-actualized when in fact, they're still struggling.
That's right, survival.
They're trying to survive.
Day to day.
Trying to survive.
That's exactly right.
And so I think the conversation tomorrow is how are we addressing as a community the very basic needs of individuals so that we can then move them up that ladder to get to that point of self-actualization.
Right.
That's a great point. One thing you're looking at this community, and like you said, to Paul's point, I mean, they are shifting dollars from here to there to buy, they're taking their medicine dollars and buying groceries, or they're not paying their water bill because there is such a massive trust issue within this community. You will see that.
Right.
So what we love and what we're so excited to be a big part of with Dr. Wilson and Dr. Yo and the Renew group is bringing in hope and help and letting them know they're going to be okay. I think, Paul, you will be a big influencer in that capacity.
Absolutely. And I look to engage. And I want to point out that it's very important that we're all together in this. Dr. Lee invited me to be part of the Georgia Edgecombe Society and the Moffitt Board of Advisors. So I'm in Tampa all the time, such as my brother Chuck, and it's so funny, quick story, the way the universe works. When I spoke out for the first time and speak on me being on the board, and I brought Vivica Fox on the board as well, I didn't meet Chuck there, but because I was just scanning the audience.
Sure.
But then when I was leaving, I was in the airport, and Chuck said, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, yeah, I was there. I'm part of it too, and we met.
And you connected right away.
Right, and I said, Chuck, you know what this means? It was about 2 years ago. I said, we're meeting in this airport. That means our alignment is going to take flight. So what's happening here is so much prophesized, and I love when we pay attention.
That's right.
And everybody, check this out. I might look for another house party star, co-star. I might look for another recording star. Like we brought you Nicki Minaj, Rihanna. Come on down. If that's what it takes to get your butt down, come on down. We'll talk about it after you hear the message.
Well, I think, and I have goosebumps with you all even talking, because when we bring the community in, you will see what a diverse, talented, electric, energetic. I cannot wait to introduce all of you to so many people, because I'm looking and talking to all of you, and there's so many of you within the community that need your expertise and your networking and your friendship, and most importantly, your fellowship.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. Okay, Dr. Wilson, you and I, we've been friends for a little bit. I'm feeling your panel here. I'm getting the vibe. I'm getting why they're all here.
But may I say something also?
Please, yes.
This is like a bright light. It's like a moment of inspiration. It's a moment of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It is very spiritual because it's a movement.
That's right.
And when you talk about power, and you talk, because we all carry power.
That's right.
That's right.
Every time en route here, I stopped somewhere to get a newspaper, and the brother came out with some jewelry and wanted to sell me. Every time you spend $1, that is power. That is voting for something.
That's right.
That is the folks who came to that establishment versus somewhere else is saying, we want this. We're voting for this. We have so much power. Sisters, when you get your hair, now I don't have hair, so of course I'm an expert, right? But when we get our hair did, and all of the other ways that we style and adorn ourselves, we are spending money.
Yes.
We are investing in stuff. So we have power to say, we want this product, we want this lipstick, but without the lead.
That's right. That's exactly right. We talk about the history of lead. It brought down the entire Roman Empire.
Yes.
And we talk about, we're so educated now on this poison that has been killing our community, not just killing them, they have to live with this. Now we have to educate them on how to reverse it, how to use nutrition, how to use education to make sure this never happens again. And I think, Dr. Saunders, I agree with you wholeheartedly with you are a leader, and you're going to get in front of this community tomorrow, and there is going to be so many young women. There are so many young talented women in the city of Flint that need to know they can do it. You're going to be excellent tomorrow. And that's it too, right?
That's right.
It's a confidence. Don't you agree, Paul?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. I often tell people placebo is medicine. What the mind can see, the body will follow, fueled by the spirit. So you have to know. I make a lot of phrases. So I move like it's already done and fight your fight like it's already won. And that's part of the battle. It's part of the victory.
If you believe, you will receive.
That's right.
And, Dr. Wilson, going back to you, when you first kept your word to your friend, you came to the city first to assess. And we've had this conversation. You walked up and down the streets and you assessed. And from where you were a year ago, what was your assessment?
Well, first of all, a year ago, a good friend, Sophia Taylor, who will be our moderator tomorrow, and who is Van's sister, she took the time out of her schedule to show me what the real neighborhoods look like.
That's right.
Where the disparities were, the dilapidated homes. And, as a social worker, we want to get down to the root causes. We don't want to just look at all the glamour downtown and all the
glitz and glam.
And yeah, that's good. All that's fine. But how does that translate to progress in all neighborhoods of Flint? And so what we're here to do now is to make sure that whatever assessment, we don't have an assessment yet, other than change needs to continue. Things need to happen, right?
That's right.
And we need to just not talk about it, but we need to be about it.
We need to act.
Right. We just can't talk about it and have summits. We have to have an action plan. We have to have a movement. You have to do something. If you want to be healthy, you have to at least get out and walk.
Well, and I agree with you on Sophia. I think she will tell you, being a Flint kid, being from Flint, when you are in the trenches, you don't always see the light. So for people to come outside the community to talk and provide hope, health, wellness,
That's right.
it's really incredible, but sometimes this community doesn't always welcome it. Yeah. But I think that's what they need to do. There's got to be more open-minded. There's got to be, we can do it. We know we can do it because we've done it, but we have to open up our guard, and that's 100.
And one of the things that the Renew Group is doing here is we have a seed program, and that seed is really, we're planting the seeds in lives, and we're actually focusing on women. This is Women's Month.
And Social Work and Women's Month,
right,
yes.
And we're making sure that we assist women to become self-sufficient, and whatever that means. So we kind of have to tailor-make different programs to help individuals move from one point to another. And that's what we aim to do. That's what we will do. That's what we are doing here.
It's incredible.
So I think Dr. Wilson knows this, but every 3 years at the Moffitt Cancer Center, we do what we call a community health needs assessment, asking folks in the community what are the things that you're struggling with from a health perspective, from a job perspective, anything that they need in order to be the best that they can be. And then we take that data and develop programs around it. And so my question here is, are you all doing that in Flint? Do you have that data?
100%. Yes. Tomorrow will be so exciting. Again, doors open at the Ferris wheel, 10 a.m. This amazing panel will be there speaking and a part of the community, and we're so excited to bridge the gap between what the Renew Group's doing with the city of Flint and the neighborhoods and surrounding areas. Yes, you will see tomorrow there are amazing organizations, physicians, administrators, leaders, politicians that we will connect all of you to, and they are doing amazing things.
Excellent.
And we can't wait
Yes,
with
I
your
look forward
help
to
to
it.
scream it from the mountaintops.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's why we
yeah.
need this partnership, this collaboration. We need to
Mm-hmm.
tap into your critical mass, which you all have access to.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to, like Dr. Wilson said, we have to just start acting. We have to start changing. So tomorrow, what are you going to speak about, Paul Anthony? Not give it all away, because you have to show up
That's
for
right.
it.
That's right.
But
You
tell
got
us
to
a
come
little
on
bit.
out.
That's right.
Of course, we're going to touch all bases, but we want to talk about what's important to you as well. So we're looking forward to a wonderful Q&A. But of course, we're going to touch on cancer, lead, health, and being proactive with your health. That's very, very key, So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. I'm going to skip over you. I'm going to end with you. Dr. Saunders, tomorrow, what can we look forward? Just a little teaser.
Hopefully a moment of energy, recommitting ourselves and re-energizing, because this happened a few years ago, and you get into a lull, you get into you go back to normal, so it's sort of to recharge, renew, revisit, and reclaim and demand our communities and what we want.
It's a resurgence.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I like to call it the refactor. The Renew Group, we bring you the refactor.
Yes,
Anything
yes.
that starts with
Is that a Paulism?
It's the
love it.
refactor. Anything that starts with the word renew, recess, realign, review, reaffirm,
It's a
re-up. That's what we're going to bring you tomorrow.
There you
Wow.
go.
Wow.
All right.
I'm feeling something
I'm
in
gonna
here.
be
Let's go
there.
get
I'm
started
feeling it.
now. Let's go get
I'm
started
feeling-
now.
How do you follow that, Dr. Lee?
I know, right? he always does that to me. Always
Drop
does
the
that to me.
mic.
I'll end with him next time.
Yeah, thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
So I will talk a little bit about the Moffitt Cancer Center, which is the third largest cancer center in the country, one of the busiest cancer centers in the country. Talk a little bit about some of the innovative work that we're doing. And one particular program that I'll talk about that can be a national model is called Empower, the Moffitt Program for Outreach, Education, Wellness, and Resources. So I'll just leave it at
Their
Empower. So you
teaser
got to
that
come
you
to
have
hear
to
about
come.
the Empower.
But I think that's so important, the education and, like you said, the prevention side of it,
Yes.
the spirit side, the energy. It's all encompassing, and that's what it takes to rebuild and refactor this
Absolutely.
community. Yes.
And also an opportunity to meet this brother. We are
Right.
all here because of Chuck Levin Wilson.
That's right.
We are all here. I'm in Detroit on a teacher diversity initiative, and I get the call, and so you don't say no. You understand that you're being called to serve. We are vessels. So to meet everybody connected to this.
Did
It's
he?
connected to and look, he's so
You know,
quiet.
I will tell you, Dr.
Well, I have to ask this.
And-
Did he ask you or did he tell you? He told me.
He
I'll
has
jump
his
in.
own style of engaging.
Depends on who he's speaking to, right?
Right,
You
right.
know.
But you just walk out on faith. You just walk out on faith because you know that it's coming from his heart.
Absolutely.
It's not about a me and a my and a with him. What's in it for
Right.
me? It's
Yeah.
about the cause. It's about the community. It's about love. It's about commitment.
Absolutely.
You know, I hear each of your stories of how you first became connected to Dr. Wilson, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's the same for us here at Hope for Flint. We became connected with Dr. Wilson and his colleague, Dr. Yo, and same thing. We fell in love right away. And being here from the city, working for the city, we said, come on, let's go. So Dr. Wilson, final thoughts about this panel, the summit, and real quickly, a few parting words about tomorrow's event.
First of all, I want to say thank you again, Kristen, for your leadership and your innovation to invite us on your show and to this wonderful panel. It can't be done without these people, these professionals.
Right.
And,
I love it.
And I'm really grateful. And I encourage and I challenge everyone to just help somebody else.
That's right.
Just help somebody else. Just look after someone else. If you're a social worker out there, do your job.
That's right.
Number one.
You might be the only one that does.
Yeah, I'm saying if you're a healthcare professional, do it your job. Don't do it just for your pay. We do need the pay, but do your job. If it's your call, do your job.
That's right.
If it's your mission, do your job. If we all do something, we change the world. And don't forget, my last thing is I've been saying this for a while. This is the century of women, and I'm calling out the men. Men, when we help women, when we do what we need to do for women in a respectful way, in the right way, we change our own economy. So this is not just about the summit tomorrow. This is much deeper than that.
Right.
And so I encourage you to come down so we can have a deeper discussion. At least we start that deeper discussion tomorrow and move on.
Oh,
Amen.
amen.
Well said. Well said.
Doors open tomorrow, 10 a.m., the Ferris wheel. Dr. B. Lee Green, thank you beyond words
Thank
for
you.
being here. Cannot wait to listen to you tomorrow. Will you come back on Hope for Flint?
Absolutely.
You'll come back?
Absolutely.
You'll fly back. We'll make sure it's summertime,
Absolutely.
y'all.
Yes.
We'll make sure it's summertime. But thank
Absolutely.
you so much. Dr. Delisa Saunders, thank you beyond words for being here. Your work in Detroit, your work here in the state, thank you. I cannot wait, seriously, to introduce so many of you to so many people tomorrow. It's going to really change lives, to be honest. It's going to change lives. Paul Anthony?
Yes.
Only the beginning.
Yes.
Oh, ready for
Just
the
the
world.
beginning.
Are you kidding me? Lisa
my
Lisa
God.
and the
Oh,
Cult
yeah.
Jam,
Oh, yeah.
House
All that.
Party.
All that.
Let me tell you,
yeah,
big
yeah.
fan.
Oh,
I didn't want to
thank
get all
you.
girl crush on you
No, it's-
early, but now the interview's over, so I can end the way I need to do.
He expects it. So.
I didn't disappoint.
No.
Okay,
No, you did not.
excellent.
It's all good.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Dr. Charles Wilson,
Chuck.
Dr. Chuck. No words for what you're doing, and to be honest, it's only the beginning. This is
right.
only the beginning.
That's it.
And here is to hope, help, healing a community, refactoring a community, redirecting a community
Ground
to
for hope.
energy. Here's to all of it, and it really truly is an honor and privilege for me and my team here to have you all on, because this is what it's about.
You have wonderful energy.
Thank you. So do you. Thank you so much. We'll see everyone tomorrow, 10 a.m., Ferris wheel, free event. You better be there. We're going to discuss a number of topics, primarily focused on health, healthcare, cancer, prevention, all of the above. But you cannot afford to miss meeting this team. You just can't. And like Dr. Wilson said, free food. Come on, let's go.
There you go.
Thank you all beyond words.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to our listeners and to our audience. This has been Hope for Flint.